Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be covering a project that I believe will do extremely well next bull run. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. None of this is financial advice. Please get yourself a financial advisor. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
So the project I'm going to be covering today is called Flux. I talked about Flux first about a month ago, and after talking about it, it ran up in price up to about 87 cents and has recently retraced all the way back down to 48 cents. Flux is currently sitting at a market cap of $144 million. It has a circulating supply of 296 million and a max supply of 440 million. The most comparable coin would be Internet Computer, or ICP, which has a total supply of about 497 million-ish, and it's currently trading at about $5. Flux is only 48 cents. So Flux has a lot of room to grow. When you look at the all-time index of Flux, it had its all-time high in January of 2022. It is currently holding still relatively well compared to a lot of other projects. Flux had an all-time high of $4.17. It is currently down 88% from its all-time high. So essentially what Flux aims to do is be a decentralized AWS, Amazon Web Services, as Flux is very big into Web3. In case you guys don't understand why we need a version of Web3, look at what is happening in the world right now. Large tech controls everything. They control all the information, they control all of your data, and they sell your data for a profit. Flux essentially wants to be a decentralized cloud infrastructure, which would in turn give you access to your own data and keep your data private, which I believe personally is a very bullish narrative. Flux currently has 13,600 total nodes, and they are in 78 different countries, the next generation of the internet. So Web 1, for example, would be like Google, Internet Explorer, Safari. Web 2 is interactive social media, so YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, to Facebook. Now Web 3 is, again, where you own your own data. It's MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Brave Browser, which, in case you guys don't know, Brave Browser is the first decentralized browser. It essentially is Google, however, Google tracks your data. Brave Browser does not track your data. A couple other things that make Flux bullish for me is the fact that they have a very good mining system. Their mining is very profitable. And on top of that, their system, their network has been up 100% of the time. So when you look at projects like Solana that have had to shut down their network multiple times for fixes, Flux has had zero downtime. It has been running 100% of the time. That's very bullish. The Flux Cloud advantages: redundancy, security, interoperability, decentralization, watchtower, low cost. 100 gigabytes of storage is only $4.41 on Flux, whereas Google Cloud, it's $176. AWS, it's $79. I mean, that is very cheap for storage on Flux. And the fact that Flux is decentralized. Some of Flux's partners are NVIDIA, OVH Cloud, Lumen, FIO, Cadex. They have many partnerships, and they're also partnered with Kadena, and they're working on a partnership with Caspa, and those are both layer 1 blockchains that I've talked about in previous videos. Kadena, for example, is potentially a project that could be one of the biggest layer 1s in the world, as it has supposedly solved the blockchain trilemma of security, decentralization, and scalability. If it can be the first ever layer 1 proof of work that solved the trilemma, that's very bullish for Flux, that Flux is a very big partner of Kadena. So Flux has some very good partnerships. When you look at Flux's Twitter, they have 135,000 followers. Just today, 5 hours ago, they just donated to an animal charity organization. That is very big. Whether it's a large amount or not, they're getting their name out there. Flux is starting to market. They're starting to get their name out there to retail investors. Obviously, institutions are going to be interested in Flux because it's decentralized cloud infrastructure. If it's significantly cheaper to store data on Flux, why would you choose to store it on AWS? It makes no sense. And if retail can also learn about Flux, that's going to be extremely bullish for price action. For the final part of this video, we'll get into a little bit of technical analysis. So as you can see with Flux, on the daily time frame, the stochastics are completely reset, starting to push up. The RSI is completely reset. That is traditionally very bullish news. As you can see, back when I talked about Flux the first time, I had Flux in this little pattern here, and it actually did break out to the upside and ran all the way up to 87 cents, but then it got hardcore rejected and came back down to about 73 cents-ish, and then now it has recently gotten absolutely demolished down to 48 cents. And I just want to point out, when you look at the past and you look at like the actual RSI, pretty much every time the RSI has been completely oversold, there's been a decent pump. And right now, the RSI is completely oversold. Again, none of this is financial advice. Do what you want with your own money. But if you are looking to accumulate Flux and you believe in the concept of decentralized cloud infrastructure and believe in the partnerships, then now is honestly a pretty decent time to start accumulating, in my humble opinion. And also, when you look at the weekly time frame, even the weekly stochastics have completely reset and the RSI is below the dotted line. I think personally Flux looks pretty good. Now, on the contrary, I also could absolutely see Flux coming down and potentially making a triple bottom, which it would come down to maybe 40 cents area. So maybe you see Flux drop down. Maybe you don't. Who knows? Either way, how much lower really can Flux go other than, 40 cents has been very strong support. It hasn't broken. It's been tested twice and it hasn't broken beneath it. I would be shocked if Flux went beneath 40 cents without some huge outlier of Bitcoin completely crashing or whatever. But keep in mind, everything is tied to Bitcoin right now for the most part. If Bitcoin rises, pretty much everything else is going to rise. If Bitcoin falls, pretty much everything is going to fall. Anything can happen, but I don't see Flux going much beneath 40 cents if it ever even comes back to 40 cents. But regardless, again, if you believe in Flux, now is probably not a terrible time to start dollar cost averaging in. I know this video wasn't super in-depth. I have a more in-depth video on Flux that I talked about a couple months ago, but that's about all. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. None of this is financial advice. Please get yourself a financial advisor.
I'm hitting the ground running, up and coming, ain't nothing, yeah, rookie of the year, I'ma keep it 100, cold-blooded, no budget, from nothing to something, I ain't bluffing, I got a full hand, and a full plan, I ain't gonna stop till I'm at the top, man.